Here's Neil deGrasse Tyson stating the space race is about military dominance and not about the moon.
Raymond Bernadicius wants to know this. Why did we stop exploring the moon? That's because you think, and so do so many other people, that we went to the moon to explore the moon. We went to the moon to beat the Russians. Back then, the Soviet Union. They were beating us in everything. And we might remember ourselves in America as pioneers of the space race. But practically every decision we made was in response to something Russia either did or said they were going to do. So we were not proactive in that race, we were reactive. And the biggest reactive thing we did was, we're going to the damn moon, which we did. And then we found out that Russia was not going to the moon. We were done. And you talk about exploring the moon, ask yourself, how many scientists did we send to the moon? One. And what moon mission was that on? The last mission. So evidence that it really was never about exploring the moon. And all the science experiments that the astronauts did, nearly all of whom were ex-military pilots, the experiments they did were because we got NASA to have our little experiment piggyback this $100 billion enterprise. That's not why we went to the moon. So that's it. You want to go to Mars? If some rogue country puts military bases on Mars, we're there.
Who are we going to be fighting in space? Who are we most likely? Is there anybody who is militarizing space in an overt way that we have to be prepared for?
Well, again, we use the word militarization of space, and you're thinking weapons and bombs.
I am.
Yeah.
I am.
But no, isn't space already militarized if we have some countless number of satellites in the service of military operations on Earth's surface?
Like, could we fight each other up there? Like, could our satellite fight a Chinese satellite?
You could, but it's kind of not what you want to do.
Neil deGrasse Tyson says it clearly. Space is political. The first moon landing was propaganda. It was brought on by military officials to cover up an assassination by a corrupt government. The same corrupt government that we have today stating the same nonsense that Artemis is going to the moon when it's going to the lower thermosphere with the rest of the spacefaring nations. Because bottom line, China and Russia just signed a space treaty, like he was talking about, the 1967 space treaty. There's a new one. It just got signed, and we're not a part of it. And that's why the Space Force is being created, redoing the Space Command, and they're going to try to uphold military dominance. So there is a threat. It doesn't need to be Mars. It's still just the thermosphere. And they need to get back up there and maintain their dominance, or at least some superiority. For right now, we're paying them to take us up. We don't have any actual, all of our tools are lacking. They put up the first gamma communication satellites that are 5G. They were the first ones to put up the new gamma X-ray telescopes. We just now, 6 months, almost a year after they put up their first gamma telescopes, we just finally got up our first ICON telescope, which is the same thing they've been using. We're just now figuring out 5G communications. We're severely lacking. So, like we lost the first space race, we're losing the second one. And like the first time, bullshit is the only way we can get out of it, because we're not going to be better than them. So we just have to bullshit them. That's why Mike Pence, who's a flat earth evangelical Christian, got Jim Bridenstine, a fucking flat earth evangelical Christian, to run NASA's Artemis mission and tell everyone that, well, all of these military men are going to the moon. They're going to take a military woman this time. So just like the last corrupt administration used moon landing propaganda to distract from the ridiculous nonsense that their administration was up to, the same is happening again today. And they have puppets like they've always had. There'll be movies like they've always made. It's just a military operation.